Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Film and TV channel. And today we're going over to the world of Netflix. As I'm recording this has been out for 2 or 3 days, and I've just had a chance to watch this now. And I'll tell you now, it's not getting great reviews, but it's such a shame. So I thought I'd give it a look and see what I thought, see what my little thoughts were on this. As I say, it's getting panned a little bit by critics and Joe Public alike. But today we're going to have a look at a film called Thunder Force. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications on. These little vlogs are coming out, and I do movie reviews, TV drama reviews, quizzes, information vlogs, what's coming to the cinema, what's out to buy, lots of different things. If you check the playlist there, or if you know anyone who might be interested as well, please point them in my direction. I'm always grateful for any sort of shares, etc, etc. And you will see some stuff on my football team as well, so if that's of any interest, or you know somebody might be interested in Manchester City stuff, history, present, quizzes, magazine vlogs, book clubs, loads of different things on there as well. About a 50-50 split between film, TV and football. So please, if you know anyone who might be interested in that as well, please point in my direction. I would be very grateful. But if you're only interested in film and TV, here we go. That's what we're on about today. And if you check out my Facebook and Twitter, there's some links on screen there. I do follow and friend everyone back. So if you seek me out on there, and I post loads of stuff, of course, on film and TV on there as well. All comments are welcome about this film. As you say, I'm in the minority on this one. I'll tell you now. Which is unusual. Usually I'm not really the minority, but I don't mind going against everybody else. I've got my little opinion, and that's sort of going to come to the fore in this, particularly about this film. So please, yeah, leave your comments what you think as well. It's all opinions, isn't it? I mean, it wouldn't be right for us all to be the same, would it? And of course, if you don't have time to leave us a comment, just give us a little thumbs up. I'm trying to get a few more thumbs ups. If you can just do that for me, it takes a split second, that'd be fantastic. Right, let's get on with this. Thunder Force, yeah. 1 hour and 46 minutes. Classed as a science fiction action adventure comedy. Yeah, I think it ticks the boxes for that. Superhero comedy film written and directed by Ben Falcone and starring Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer, Bobby Cannavale, Pom Clementiaff, Taylor Mosby, with Melissa Leo and Jason Bateman as well. Nice to see Jason Bateman. This, of course, is another collaboration, isn't it, between McCarthy and her husband Falcone. And the sort of joint things are not getting the greatest press at the moment, are they? But this is the 5th collaboration, I think, of the two. And it was digitally released, of course, on Netflix on the 9th of April 2021. What's it about? Well, in a world terrorised, as they all are, aren't they, by supervillains, one woman scientist, Emily Stanton, played by Octavia Spencer, has developed the process to give superpowers to regular people. What would we do with it, though? But when her estranged best friend Lydia, Melissa McCarthy, of course, accidentally imbues herself with incredible abilities, the two women must become the first superhero team. Now it is up to Thunder Force to battle the super-powered miscreants and save Chicago from the clutches of the King. Yeah, the King, get that right. It's the King, not Mr. King, the King, played by Bobby Cannavale, of course, or Bobby Cannavale. I don't know how you pronounce that. My apologies, Bobby. I know you're watching this. My apologies, mate. And yes, as I said, it does star Jason Bateman as Jerry the Crab. So that's the level we're talking at. So let's think about that level. Jerry the Crab. This is the level we're going at, so don't expect anything too fantastic. Obviously, Pom Clementiaff, as I mentioned before, she plays Laser, sort of baddie female superhero in this. Is it any good? Well, according to some of these people, not particularly. Review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reports that 25% of their 101 critics, that's only 25 fresh and 76 rotten reviews for this, so that's not great, is it? It's only 25% of their actual reviewers did give it a positive review, an average rating of 4 out of 10. Pretty miserable. The site's critics consensus reads, it's got a few chuckles, it has, but Thunder Force is largely a superhero comedy that's neither exciting nor funny. Well, I mean, there's a lot of comedies you don't even get a few chuckles these days, so I mean, I think that's a bit unfair. And I don't know how you spell it, how you pronounce it, an egregious waste of its co-stars' talents. I thought they did okay. I don't think it wasted the talent whatsoever. The audience on Rotten Tomatoes Totally agree. Just 500 plus scores been left, 24% positivity, so very similar figure. Metacritic, the other critic site we look at, assigned a net weighted average of 34 out of 100, so that's not very good, is it? With 0 positive reviews, 0, that's 31 critics, not one single one said anything positive. I have found a positive review on there, so I don't know where they get the 0 from, but that's the stats they're showing me. 18 mixed reviews and 13 negative. Perhaps a couple of those mixed reviews got put together into a, and they made a positive, I'm not too sure. Yeah, and it scores anywhere between 12 out of 100, which isn't very good, is it? And 60 out of 100. So I'll ignore the very low ones because I don't believe them for one instant. And I can ignore the very high ones because there isn't any high ones, so we can ignore that. Chicago Sun-Times is Richard Rooper. Yeah, Richard Rooper. 38 out of 100. He said, "It's always a shame when a group of talented humans get together and deliver something that comes across as a half-hearted effort, even if they poured their blood, sweat and tears into it." Well, I don't think they did that. The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw, he only gave it 40 out of 100. He said, "This is by the numbers stuff." It is. There's nothing wrong with by the numbers stuff sometimes. Sometimes you just want to turn your brain off and enjoy something, don't you? Not quite funny enough for comedy. Well, I'd have to disagree with a lot of stuff I've watched recently. Or having enough of the crazed seriousness that marks out a successful superhero franchise. Well, I find a lot of superhero films pretty boring and bland, to be honest with you, but hey, there you go. Consequence of Sound's Blake Goebel. Well, he was the highest mark I could find, and he only gave it 58 out of 100, but I think he was fairly positive. Let me have a quick look now. Better than My Super Ex-Girlfriend. I quite like that. Perhaps that's the level I'm coming from. Super Ex-Girlfriend I found quite entertaining to watch. I didn't find it particularly funny. I just liked it as an easy watch. So this is where I'm coming from. I mean, if you agree with that, then we're probably on the same wavelength for this film. It's sloppier than Hancock. I wasn't a big fan of Hancock, I must admit. It's nothing dynamic, but fun all the same, yeah. And frankly, not every superhero flick or comedy needs to be the super person of its domain. Likeability is sometimes an underrated superpower, and Thunder Force is bursting with it. So yeah, so it was a positive, even though I only give it 5.58 out of 100. It's a bit mean for that sort of critique, wasn't it? Internet Movie Database, Joe Public. Yeah, I don't know what they're on about this lot, you and me and the Joe Public, because they're only giving it 4.4 out of 10, and that's based on 14,313 scores and reviews left as I'm recording this vlog. The good, the bad, and that's what I do, isn't it? The good, here we go. A positive 8 out of 10. Hey, I've got a headache now. 8 out of 10. That's Asmodee. On the 13th of April, it serves its purpose and wrote, "It isn't Shakespeare, nor is it trying to be. McCarthy is funny and seems a little more restrained than usual, with an eye on representing a true Chicagoan in mind." I don't know, Chicago people, is that how it is? Spencer plays a straight role well as a counter to McCarthy. Yes, she does okay. And the casting of their younger selves is on point. It was. Because I think the younger Spencer is actually a daughter, isn't it? Is it? I think it's a daughter anyway. Or it's younger McCarthy. Well, I think it's Spencer's daughter, yeah. Bateman is fun, playing against type as a man crab, and he's usually a scallop. That's a bit cruel. A little seafood humour there. Yes, it was, very little. A villain is super easy to guess, but hey, I'm not solving an Agatha Christie story here. Look, this is silly and it's fun. Watch it when your brain needs a break. Absolutely. I think Asmodee and me are on the sort of similar wavelength on this one. Burning Out on the 13th of April, just gave it 2 out of 10. This is the bad. I promised myself I wouldn't watch it, and I'll be honest with you, I could have found loads of bad. There was loads of bad reviews left. I just picked this one out because I didn't want to go on with too much. Should have stuck to my promise. Jason Bateman should be made to wear those crab arms for a year as punishment. Just awful. Okay, Burning Out. And for a sort of middle of the road, Danny Press sort of sums it up quite well, I think. On the 13th of April 2021, he wrote simply, "Just pretend it's a cartoon." He gave it 5 out of 10 and said, "The first hour isn't the worst. I had to shut off McCarthy's last movie, Super Genius, I'll talk about that in a second, 10 minutes in because it was intolerable, but I did giggle out loud a bit at this one. It's been a long time since you made me laugh. Watch this for the 1980s crab dance. And feel free to shut it off. It was weird, but weird in a way that if it were a cartoon like Futurama or The Simpsons, the first 10 seasons, you'd laugh. Pretend it's a cartoon." So there you go. I mean, I like a good cartoon, don't I? So my little thoughts on it, yeah, perhaps I'm going to say this now. Perhaps I was in the right frame of mind for this. I'd had a funny old day when I watched this, and perhaps I was just needed something just to at least was a bit light and made me smile. I do have a stupid sense of humour. If you've ever watched any of my vlogs, I do have a sort of weird, not weird, but I mean, obviously I'd have a strange sense of humour at the best of times, and this sort of film just allowed me to really enjoy it and sort of touch my tickle bone sometimes. You know, it sort of got to it, and it allowed me to forget about things, even though I was sort of working on and off as well while I was doing it, but it did allow me to forget about certain things for the 100 or so minutes that it was on. Of course, lots of it doesn't work. Of course, it doesn't. Lots of it is quite boring, but it just made me smile. Certainly more than a couple of times, and certainly more than five. Probably, I don't know, 5, 10 times. I'm not too sure, but it did make me smile, and I think I even chuckled once or twice, as someone else said there, didn't they? And to be honest with you, there are very few comedies, whether the superhero or anything else, that have recently that have achieved this over the last months and years, perhaps even going back a bit further. And certainly this time with this COVID, we've needed a bit of a chuckle, haven't we? And it just appealed to my sort of chuckle muscle, if you like, this film. I wasn't overly impressed with Super Genius that was mentioned before, which was probably the last McCarthy film I watched. It was okay, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I marked it very highly. I wasn't overly impressed, and thankfully, I think she's far better in this. I think she comes over really well. I do accept I'm in the minority, as you can see from those scores there, and I think it's a simple test whether you'll like it or not. Obviously, McCarthy fans may like it, they should like it. If they've watched all the stuff and they like it, then they'll like this. If some have sort of fell out with her recently, then this might bring them back on board, I'm not too sure. But the simple test is just to watch the trailer. I didn't watch the trailer before this. I had seen snippets of it. I had read an article on it in one of the film magazines, but I hadn't seen trailers of this film. So, you know, I sort of knew what was I knew what this was going to be even before I watched it. But if you watch the trailer and you like it, I think the film is better than the trailer. You know, I usually mark the trailer. I've not given the trailer a mark for this one particularly. I'd mark the trailer just a basic 6 out of 10. A watchable trailer. It looked okay. It didn't put me off. But I think the film is actually better in this case. And it was a pleasant surprise, as I said, to the fact that I did have a quick look at Internet Movie Database before I watched the film and looked at the overall score, and I thought, oh, that doesn't bode very well. I do like McCarthy. Yeah, I mean, she just gets a bit over, you know, does get a bit monotonous after a while, like any good comedian or comedian or whatever we call them these days. But I do like her personality. I do like watching her facial expressions and stuff like that. I think that's part and parcel of the film. I did sit and sort, as I say, I was doing other things while this was on, but I did sort of sit and watch elements and watch the face and things. And yeah, her personality does really come over very well in this. And I think Spencer's pretty good as well as a sounding board. I wouldn't say she was fantastic, but it was good fun. And certainly, I think what made it for me were the scenes that McCarthy spent with Bateman, obviously with the crab man. Yes, stupid, silly, daft, absolutely. But yeah, very, 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 very silly. But it did make, and they're the sort of scenes I think that made me chuckle a couple of times when I was watching those two interact with each other in certain romantic scenes, etc., which you can imagine. And it just appealed to my sense of humour. I'm not quite sure, as I said, reading some of the reviews, what people expected from this, to be honest with you. I don't know, did they expect another Marvel Comics superhero film? I'm not too sure. It was exactly as I expected, a bit daft, very simple story, nothing's fantastic, a superhero baddie story with 2 or 3 very likeable characters, both the baddies and the goodies. So okay, it won't live long in the memory, and I won't sort of be, you know, I may watch this again in years to come at some stage, but it was just a nice, simple, easy watch for me, and I was just in the right frame of mind, and it made me, as I said, it made me smile, and it did make me chuckle a couple of times. So I'm going to give it, my rating is far higher than any of these other meanies that have given the ratings today. So it's not just watchable, as I said, the trailer was watchable. I think the film was very watchable, and a very watchable rating for me is 6.5 out of 10. So I'm going to buck the trend and give it 6.5 out of 10. And you'll probably say, Bernard, what are you doing? It was rubbish, but it just appealed to me. And I say, watch the trailer. If you like McCarthy, watch the trailer. And if the trailer's okay, and you think, oh, that's okay, and that's what I thought with the trailer. I watched the trailer after the film, but I thought, oh yeah, they didn't show all the best parts of the film, which some trailers do, but very, very watchable in my opinion. So I did enjoy it. Certainly wasn't a waste of an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm in the minority, but hey, what the hell? What the hell? It's all opinions, isn't it? We're all entitled. Let me know what you think anyway on this film. Anyway, thanks for watching today. What are we going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other until we meet here again on the Film and TV channel. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this, I don't know when you're watching this, I'm going to start doing a once a week live film and TV channel, little show, little feature, about 60 minutes, 90 minutes, where hopefully people can write in on the screen on YouTube and let me know their opinions of films and TV they're watching at the moment. So that's going to start very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But make sure you got a notification, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll put all the information on there, so please keep your eyes open for that. So whether we meet here on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my Citizen channel, my football channel, if that's of any interest. Whatever it is, all I ever ask of you out there is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.